All right. If you are in your an assignment that asks for you to submit and your answer, like in 1.04, the last question asks you to show all your work. And there's this box here where you can type and show your work. However, typing the math in here, it's difficult to do in a way that's clear. But one thing that'll help is this equation writer. It says insert equation right here. And when you do that, it's using ASCII or ASCII math. I forget what it's called. It's the same as LaTeX. LaTeX is it's like a programming language for math. There are these insert symbols down here that are super helpful. Some of the things that you need to use, though, sorry about that. Some of the things that you need to use are exponents. So if you want to do x to the third power, you do x, and then shift 6 it's a caret, and it will give you an exponent. So x to the third power. So here's where I'm typing, and down here is what it's going to look like when you insert it into the box down here. So you can do x to the third is equal to 2 times the quantity x minus 4, and then that whole thing is going to be squared. And so you can see what it's going to look like down here. And when you push save, it will show up down here. So one way to do it is to show that from step to step. So you go down to the next step. So you could do, okay, well, I'm going to expand that the quantity x minus 4 squared. So equals 2 times the quantity x minus 4 times the quantity x minus 4. That's going to be my next step. And so I took the x minus 4 and I squared it. Now the next one is going to be the expansion of that. So I'll go down to the next step and I will insert another equation. X to the third power is equal to 2 times the quantity x squared minus 4x plus 16. So I'm not explaining the math here because that's not what this video is for. So I expanded the multiplication of these two binomials, and now I'm going to distribute that 2. At the same time, I'm going to combine those. So I'm going to go to so this is the way you do your work, is you could just do one step after the other. Another thing that's important is a fraction. So you do 2 and then the slash mark over 4. And then you have to move, you have to say equals, and then you can do 1/2. And so that's another way to do this. Another thing that's important is if you have something in the numerator that's something like x plus 5, you need to put it in parentheses. X plus 5 divided by the quantity x minus 3. Because if you don't do that, so I'll show you what that looks like, but if you don't use the parentheses, whoops, you do x plus 5 divided by x minus 3. So look, without the parentheses, this is how it will look. But when I put parentheses in the correct place, it will move it to be the way that I want. So you've got to use parentheses in important spots. And then there's other things that are important, like a square root. You can type SQRT parentheses x minus 5 parentheses. So it'll put the entire x minus 5 underneath that square root. Another thing is if you need a different root, maybe you want to say that, let's see. I don't know. Oh, there it is right there. So let's say that we have, so it gives you the y and the x, and you can change those. So let's say we're doing the third root of x to the 4th power. And we want to make sure that that 4th power is underneath that root. So we have to put parentheses. And then we're going to say, oh, Well, that equals x to the power, and it's going to be 4 divided by 3, and we need to put that in parentheses as well. So knowing where to use parentheses is really important for using this equation writer. And it can turn out to look pretty good, and I hope that you find this video helpful. If you have questions, one thing you can look up is LaTeX, LaTeX, and that will help you with the coding language.